Hey guys, and welcome back to another Solo Leveling Rise video. Today we're going to talk about the new content for global launch. I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. Post down below what your opinions are in terms of the content we're going to be getting that's announced in today's video, and let me know how you guys feel about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. And oh my goodness, look at those hips! My God, they went crazy with the hips in this game. All right, let's get into it. So we have some really cool stuff that they announced that I want to show you guys here. So first things first, we have the dev notes for the Solo Leveling Rise game. So this is Solo Leveling Rise team. Since the start of our early access last month, our team has been running towards an even more significant mission, the grand update. In this developer note, we would like to share some finalized matters after consideration for improvement and provide a sneak peek at some of the upcoming updates. So what I'm expecting is the release of the next story chapter, which includes the fight against Tusk. I cannot, but this guy looks epic. This trailer is pretty low quality, but they did put this one out previously. You know, a funny thing on a side note, I have been going over some like beta footage of this game like a year ago, and they had this fight as one that you could see like that they were doing and stuff like that, and kind of different pieces of content, Shaheen, stuff like that. Her art looks way different there in the beta. But yeah, so here's a look at the dungeon for this next chapter. Speaking of which, look at her art in the top corner there. Very different than what I'm expecting. The skills look a little different. The layout looks a little different. But nonetheless, this is a look at the dungeon here. So this is kind of what we're going to be expecting for the next chapter, but obviously a more polished version of it. Anyway, that's what I'm expecting. And like I said, there's other pieces of content too that are going to come out, like the other modes that are not unlocked yet. So let's go ahead and proceed from here. During the early access period, many hunters provided diverse and fantastic feedback on maximizing the fun of various combat styles. We have promptly addressed feedback that could be quickly implemented through development, while improvements for other feedback are still in progress. So what they're saying here is some of this stuff is easy to do and you know, they can do pretty quickly. Some of it they can't do pretty quickly. It takes a while to do. That's still in development. So if there's feedback that I don't know why they decided to just refresh. If there's feedback that they got that takes a while, they're going to work on it. But the good news is that they're working on it, right? So that's pretty cool. All right, so the gold cost for artifact replacement will be reduced based on the enhancements here. We did see that previously. So basically the cost to remove artifacts is something that pissed people off a ton. It's actually not exclusive to this game. A lot of games do it, and there's various reasons as to why they do it, but they're saying they're going to reduce it. Gold repeat rewards for gate missions will be increased. That's good. So clearing gates will give more gold, basically. Considering lowering the difficulty of accomplishing certain events, they did say they were doing that for Power of Destruction, right? I'm not sure if that's already been reflected in the game yet. Speaking of reflecting the feedback from many hunters. I assume this is a translation thing. I don't know why I decided to translate anyway. We've decreased the artifact removal cost and identified the source of gold accommodation. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but I guess they're trying to give us more places to get gold. I think a very easy win for this game is to just put like obviously more gold in the gates, obviously putting gold in other places, like giving us a gold gate specifically, and drastically improving the amount of gold you get from like the special gate, by the way, which is supposed to be the quote-unquote gold gate. Things like that. Like those are very easy, obvious wins, but I think that, you know, on the margins, reducing how much it costs to level up hunters or do these various things could really help out with the gold issue. But at the end of the day, I think that people really also have to understand it's a gacha game, and it's designed to have pain points where you get frustrated into potentially spending money on the game. That's literally going to be something that they're always going to do in a gacha game, and they've, for this game, pinpointed gold as being a pressure point. Now, they have, and they're saying they will anyway, they will be alleviating some of that, but it's never going to completely go away, right? Unless they develop something new to take its place as a pain point going forward. Again, that's just the nature of gacha games, live service games, etc. Through this measure, we hope hunters can combine various artifact stats and experience diverse action gameplay. Thank you for all hunters who provided feedback. Okay, so cool. That's fine. One of the big pain points with this, though, speaking of artifacts, was it was just hard to remove and then keep cycling that gear on different characters or things like that. And that's why it's there. You know, that's why the gold cost is there. One of the reasons why is so you don't just say, oh, here's a perfect set. I want to put this on Woo Jinchul. We're going to use him for this stage as weak against wind. We're going to put this on Emma now because we have a fire stage. You know, they want you to build different artifact sets, and obviously they make more money off of that because people are going to build more, keep them attached to a character, and as you level up them more, it costs more to take them off. So, you know, but they're saying they're alleviating that a little bit, but you get my point. Like, it's there for a reason. Not that I agree, but just logic, right? Furthermore, we have leveled up the faction of the Shield to investigate malicious activities, impose sanctions, and take measures to lead the rankings of detected fraudulent registrations. So this is a funny little thing. They call it the faction of the Shield, but that's just like their internal bug. I don't want to say bug, but like hacker tracker guys, the people that are monitoring that. We have activated the faction of the Shield since the start of early access last month. So basically what they're trying to say here is they have improved their detection of people that are cheating on the leaderboards and stuff like that, right? Because obviously this game, just like any other gacha game, will struggle with, you know, cheaters and mods and all that stuff. In the future, we'll continue strengthening the faction of the Shield and drive to create a fair gaming environment. Fraudulent registrations will not be able to escape the scrutiny of the Hunters Association surveillance team. So they're putting their own little, you know, their own little spin on it, right? That's what they're trying to do here. I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, so one of the big adjustments I recommended to them was to just take more time, and I think they did wind up taking more time, like another day or two last time, to just kind of weed out people that were cheating actively. So if you're cheating, you may be getting away with it now. You probably won't get away with it later. If you care about your account, I wouldn't really do it. And if you're going to do it, just word of advice, probably wouldn't do it on any ranking-based content. They probably aren't tracking story mode like that, right? So that's typically how games work as well. They're not really, if it doesn't impact other players, that's not to say they'll never ban you, but they're less likely to. All right. First of all, thank you for enjoying Solo Leveling Rise during the early access period. Now we will introduce the completed development of the major update mentioned in the previous dev note, as well as the various developer notes that our team will introduce in the future. As a developer, it's always fun and happy to present new updates. All right. Diversity. Our team hoped that hunters would enjoy diverse gameplay through various combinations, sometimes through combinations of artifacts, sometimes through runes and blessing stones, or even combinations of different skills and weapons. However, after analyzing the diverse play patterns of hunters during this... Okay, so hunters is us, by the way. It's unfortunate that solo leveling uses terminology like player, you know? Because when reading these blogs, you have to I really got to make sure that you guys understand it, because hunters could be talking about the characters in the game, but no, that's us, right? So just be aware of that. However, after analyzing the diverse play patterns of hunters during the past period, we found that various combinations were not being used as intended. We are currently working on finding the causes and making improvements. We would like to thank the hunters who have helped improve the completeness of this project. Based on feedback from hunters, the following balance adjustments will be made to improve completeness. So what this is saying is that they wanted us to use more weapons, more characters, and all this and that, but people aren't doing that. People are finding one team, one setup, and just sticking to it. They're not changing their runes. They're not changing their blessings. They're not changing their weapons. They're not changing their supports probably very often, because the game was in a state where, first and foremost, it was actually extremely hard to do those things because it costs gold to do every goddamn... Okay, it doesn't cost gold to change your blessing stones, but it costs gold to get them in the first place, setting aside the fact you need that powder, right? So the resources were just hard to get, so players aren't doing that. The runes as well, kind of hard to get those setting aside the fact that there's a whole separate gacha system with runes and blessings, it's hard to get to the point where you can craft that stuff anyway, especially if you're free. And then the gold costs, so like I understand it. And then you talk about weapons and other hunters and like it's a lot, right? It's a lot. So Demon King's longsword is powerful yet hard to obtain S rank item in the original story. Is a powerful yet hard to obtain S rank item in the original story, but its power does not cheat to be active in game. Therefore, the damage will be adjusted upward given on its advancements here. Okay. So they were saying the Demon King longsword was underperforming damage-wise. I thought the Demon King longsword was a utility weapon. The counter stun and then the lightning around the area of effect on that and the attack increase if I remember, it does an attack increase. It was all really good. Now, its flat damage wasn't great, but I thought the utility around it was good. But they're saying that they are going to improve the damage. However, on the advancement tier, that means it's going to be in a duplicate. So is it the first dupe? Is it the 5th dupe? The 3rd dupe? Where is this at, right? Typically, I believe it's on the odd number dupes, but still, I don't love that. The critical hit rate of Orc's Broadsword will be adjusted. Awards based on its advancement tier. So they're talking about the SR weapons here. Orc's Broadsword, Rock Golem will also get adjustment for the damage. The shield and damage of Night Killer will be adjusted on its advancements. The damage of Westwood will be... Wow, there's... So... Oh my god. Damn, we can't have nice things. And only one stack is possible per skin. I was just about to build Westwood. I finally got a dupe, and I was like, I'm finally gonna do it. Wow, when the first target of Westwind is hit with a critical, the cooldown decreases. I have to go back and see how impactful that is because I haven't used it too much, but I've seen it. I've seen it. Westwind is that sniper rifle thing, the SR sniper rifle. And it was just bodying. It was running through Chapter 15. You could take that weapon in Chapter 15 at a low level. Not the weapon itself, but the character. Probably the weapon too, to be fair, if you have dupes. But like your Sung JINWOO, he could be at a low level, and you are going to blitz through that because the weapon just hits so damn hard. So they reduce the damage. And I guess that's fine. When we talk about diversity, like I mentioned earlier, people were just kind of finding one setup and using that. That was Westwind, that was the Plum Sword, that was the Scythes. And in terms of supports, that was Emma, that was Byung-gu, that was maybe Seo. That was Woo Jinchul for the evades people, and then you don't even really need to build Woo Jinchul for that. You just need the support skill. Like, we had found the way to do this game ultimately, right? Now, I personally didn't play that way because I wanted to try to use as much as I could, but that's very hard for the average player to do. So obviously, people are going to gravitate towards what seems to be the meta in this game, and that's what it was, right? And it's very easy to find out what the meta is, and obviously Choi as well, right? It's very easy to find out what the meta is when you go into the game and you hit the ranking events and you see the team people are using. Every goddamn player is using the same stuff, right? Because why wouldn't you? If it's proven to be successful, why wouldn't you? Why would you flip the script? So this game was designed in a way where they want you to be using different weapons. They want you to be constantly shifting. I mean, that's the only reason that things like the runes have element advantages on them, things like that. This game was designed in a way where they want you to constantly shift everything. Like I mentioned earlier, that's hard to do for the average player, at least currently right now, but maybe a few months from now, obviously it'll be easier, whether it just comes from you playing for a few months or maybe they loosen up on some of the stuff. But regardless, they're improving a bunch of weapons. And the good thing about those weapons is that they're all SR weapons. I'm going to just show you here. The good thing about those is that they are, pop up, all SR weapons. So, like, they're going to be easier to level up to a degree. So we had, not that one. They didn't work on this one because they were like, nah, screw you guys and your bleed. The Rock Golem Hammer is the one that's getting the damage increase. So I haven't actually gone out of my way to use these weapons yet. I haven't really got a chance to. The only one I have actively used are like these couple that are at 40, right? Night Killer got an upgrade, which that's not it right there either. Again, they're down here because I haven't worked on them. So here's the broadsword here. This one was good because it would give the increase in fire damage. The weapons that were doing that or like the attack increases were really good, actually. Even as just secondary weapons that you're not actually like going out of your way to use. Baruka's dagger. Where's that stupid Night Killer sword at thingy? Oh, it's this one. Go. I don't have any dupes for this thing. I was gonna say I don't have a single dupe, like not one. I have one, literally. Okay, so this one is getting what? The damage increase. Shield and damage. Oof. Applies a shield equal to 10% of use in max HP when telekinesis. That's on the third upgrade. So I guess I can see what they're doing here. It's just you have to look for it. So I'm assuming the second and third upgrades are going to get updated. So, okay. Well, if I go to Longsword, what's happening with the Demon Longsword? Where's the damage at? Increases wind damage. So that's the second dupe. Inflicts the stroke of lightning effect. Deals damage equal to 50% of attack. Oh my god, that first dupe is so good on this weapon. The second dupe is where it's at. So okay. It's kind of whatever. You know, kind of whatever. Unless they're gonna add in more stuff, like another line for this first dupe that says increase overall attack by 10% for wind damage. You know, things like that. They could do that too. So the good news is, like I said, they're improving SRs, which is useful for us as well because they're gonna be easier to get. I mean, not crazy easier because there's so many SRs in the pool, but you know, eventually you'll get them. Hunter stats upgraded. So we'll fix the issue where only 2 Phantom Foxes were summoned in certain circumstances upon reaching Advanced in Tier 1 with Libora. I never noticed that. We'll fix the issue where Wu Jinchul's super armor was not attached in certain circumstances. Did not notice that. These are things you wouldn't notice if you didn't use these characters. However, I did use Wu Jinchul and I was getting his super armor. We'll increase the damage of Han Sung-Yi's retrieve skill. I don't think they actually have typos here. I think it's just that my page wanted to refresh for some. We'll fix the issue where mana consumption inconformed abnormally. I've never seen that word. What does that word mean, chat? Abnormally upon reaching advancement tier 1 with Song Chiu. Okay. I can imagine what that word means, but whatever. All right, so certain stacks. We'll fix the issue where the critical damage stat dealt to magic beasts was applied less than intended. So I guess you were doing less critical hit damage than they wanted you to. We sincerely apologize to our hunters for the inconvenience caused by this issue. So for the record, if we are going to start doing more critical damage, that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal. We would like to extend our gratitude to the hunters who have contributed to improving the completeness of solo leveling Arise. Now we would like to proceed with sharing the upcoming details. Sung Jinwoo has overcome numerous hardships and trials against adversaries like Arachnid, Hwang Dong-suk, Kang Tae-shik, and Igris. In the upcoming update, the addition of a new story will introduce the appearance of the almighty shaman Karglagon, an unexpected twist and turns in the adventure. So we already kind of talked about that. That's this stuff that I showed you guys earlier. Speaking of earlier, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll once again mention it. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate it. Also, that thumbs up. If you made it this far in, your boy is solid. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. In the upcoming update, the addition of a new story will introduce the appearance of these guys. If you haven't equipped Artifacts Suite for Hunters yet, the new content may demand extreme control and strategy. After reading this, you now have a choice. Focusing on farming artifacts or training your control skills. Unless you have high-end gear from head to toe like Yu Jinho. They're stupid. So they're saying that the new stuff's going to be hard. So work on your artifacts if you haven't already. Unless you're Yu Jinho. And you can just buy it, I guess. But the game doesn't have a shop. You know the game has a shop? I don't want to say it doesn't have a shop. It doesn't have an artifact shop. You know, like, you know, where you buy weapons or anything like that. They don't have that in the game. They just have the exchange. But that's not the same. I want Jinwoo's player shop. That's what I want. Our team hoped that battles with various hunters would offer a different kind of excitement from Sung Jinwoo's battles. Fortunately, it seems that hunters are enjoying quite interesting battles through various combinations. In particular, we were pleased to know that we could provide different combat gameplay experiences by observing hunter challenging. There's a lot of typos in here. Dungeons like the Gatekeeper of Hell Cerberus and the Runaway Giant Arachnid with different combinations. Okay, screw Cerberus. To provide another layer of energy in hunter combination battles, we are preparing a system with various costumes for hunters actively participating in raids and making the dungeons feel like a runaway. We appreciate your anticipation. So, costume. Okay. Costumes. All right. So, participating in raids and making the dungeon feel more like it almost sounds like this is they're not mentioning it here, but like I know that this game's gonna get a guild system. It almost sounds like that would be tied to that, because the way I think about it in my head is raids. Obviously, you have all the players in the guild function versus the raid, but nonetheless, it could just be a lost in translation thing, terminology being a little different than I expect, etc. So just take it with a grain of salt. While Sung Jinwoo experienced a job change to the Monarch of Shadows only once in the original work, our team wanted to express that Sung Jinwoo is continuously growing. Through the job change system, feedback on growth is advanced through milestones to expand the combat experience. Oh, are they giving him another upgrade? They are. Oh, I actually kind of saw something about this. With the upcoming update, Sung JINWOO will be able to achieve a job change beyond the Monarch of Shadows. That's pretty OP. And hunters will be able to experience more diverse skills along with a unique costume based on the new... I gotta see the costume. I gotta see that. Speaking of costumes, they have obviously got them for JINWOO, but the way I read that was that there would be various costumes for other hunters, and maybe that costume for Cha-Hain is one of the ones. The Cha-Hain artwork, it's not in here, but her artwork from the beta is kind of funny. Like I mentioned earlier, she got her like tits flowing in the wind and all that stuff. She's got like a low cut shirt. She's got like partial armor. Like she looks kind of different than the artwork showed here on the left side, right? You can't really see it, but you'll see it in the game. But yeah, job change popping up again. So this is probably why they allowed for us to replay those older ones as well. You can't replay the Shadow one, I don't believe, but you can replay a couple of the older ones. So I guess that's probably why. All right, fragments of their stories. In attachment to the story of Kang Tae-shik, who causes mysterious accidents, and B rank healer Lee Joo-hee, who is afraid of magic beasts. New hunter stories await you. So this is the little story mode. That little like useless ass, what's it called in here? Hunter Archive. Yeah, they're saying there's more of these coming. I mean, like, cool, you get like 200 of these. That's great, right? That's not bad. 250. That's, if I looked at it right. That's not bad. And you get to learn more about the characters. I just feel like there's only 2 and there could be like 5. But they're taking their time. I get it. Please look forward to more secret stories the hunters will tell. They're not telling us who's coming. So, okay. Power Destruction. The boss of Power Destruction's various lethal moves depending on their phrase transition. Sometimes he raises his right hand and strikes hard, and sometimes sweeps the floor, going berserk. The key to Power Destruction is to repeatedly enjoy the pleasure of intuitive numerical growth through the cycle of growth, numerical verification, reward accommodation to growth. Okay. They're saying that he has a pattern, but you don't learn it until you play it a lot. Then you figure it out. Then you get better at it. However, we have like this is so like mind blowing. Why can't you just say it the way I said it? That's basically. But again, could be lost in translation thing because for whatever reason my page updated to being Korean and then it got Google translated back to English. However, we have determined that improvements to the current mechanism are necessary to provide the above mentioned enjoyment, and we are consulting various improvements. Okay. They're thinking about various improvements. So they said that basically that style for Power of Destruction isn't feasible, and they're thinking about different ways to improve it. More details will be revealed soon in the upcoming updates. Cha-Hain will join the gate raid. So Cha-Hain coming to the game. She looks She looks awesome in this art right here. This is really good art. So Cha-Hain coming. We figured she was next. As Korea's 9th S-rank hunter, she attracts public attention with her beautiful appearance and outstanding skills. However, we had some concerns about Cha-Hain's exposure in various communities and the trend predicting her as the next raid up hunter. So they're saying they had concerns about how people were like, yo, she's coming next, and predicting her, as well as when and how to introduce her and in what form. Hunter prediction skills are indeed remarkable. Okay, they're saying we're good at predicting. As many hunters have eagerly awaited Cha-Hain's arrival, we are pleased to announce in the developer note that Cha-Hain will join the gate raid. What do they mean in what form? What do they mean by that? Is that a call to Ragnarok or something? I haven't read that, so maybe that I don't know. I've only read, so just for context, I need to go back and finish. I've read the entire story up until the conclusion of the final fight, and then there's a time skip. I haven't read the time skip. Okay. Our team is focusing on the upcoming Grand update. Through this update, we aim to excite the world and deliver amazing action never seen before. We appreciate your continued interest and participation in Solo Leveling Rise as we embark on this new journey. As a token of appreciation, CM Iron has prepared a gift for our hunters, so check out the link below. Yay, more new stuff. Let's go. All right, let's see what we got. What is this? What is this? It's a login bonus, huh? Yeah, it's a 12-day login bonus. Okay, essence stones, 300, 100, 100, 100. Okay, so we're a bunch of essence stones. Dope. Until global launch. Oh, it's a countdown. It's a countdown. Okay. 12 days, 11 days, all the way down to 1 day. And then on that final day, there's going to be a maintenance for the grand opening on the 7th. And we'll get 300 essence stones as well. Probably also a little bit for compensation for the maintenance. But, hey, we're here. We are at global launch, guys. Almost, anyway. 12 days. Just about. It means I'm going to also start ramping up my content production again. Wow. Okay. So, I wanted to show this as well. There's other stuff that's been data mined, like gems and all this other stuff that's going to come in the future at some point. Bond system, the stuff is in the game. It's been data mined. It's just not officially there yet. And then this may be a tad bit of a teaser, or not a teaser, a spoiler. So feel free to click ahead. But yeah, there was also a post about this here. It seems like there's going to be a job change or something like that. Fight against a dark Sung JINWOO, supposedly same one as a job change. You know how when you fight him there, he's like a dark version of him, right? In the future, he has shadow unit of Chahain. So Chahain's shadow could possibly be a job upgrade or maybe an OC storyline. So there is something in the game indicating that Sung JINWOO will have a shadow Chahain to fight with him in the job change menu. And that could be this next upgrade, which he afterwards quotes it and says, damn, I was on point. Because it does look like they are going to be adding in original. This game is going to have original everything. It's kind of interesting what Netmarble is doing. It's going to have original hunters, going to have original shadows. It has original hunters, but not the ones that everyone... There's only 2 original hunters in the game. Emma and Anna right now. The other ones have appeared at some point in the story. Just as background characters or whatever, right? But yeah, I actually thought Seo was one for a long time. They're going to have that. They're going to have original shadows. They're going to have original storylines. They're going to have a lot of just original stuff to expand on Solo Leveling Arise as a series, which I think is kind of cool. But it's like, it's something I think you have to do if you want this game to have longevity of, like, I think when they design these games, they're looking at them from the standpoint of lasting like 10 years minimum. I don't think that they're building these games, especially a game with a big budget, with a thought process, oh, it's only going to last a couple years. Like, if there's something you want to see this game have, it's going to most likely have it at some point. Whether that's something like console release, probably only PlayStation, because you know how that typically goes. It's going to get it at some point. You could just book it, right? They're going to do it. And so I think this game is going to have a lot of upcoming original content that pops up, and just stuff that people are gonna like and also not gonna like. Like I did a data mine video on the shadow for Cerberus. They have Cerberus here, blue golem shadows. And somebody was like, "Oh, Cerberus is like a demon, like blah, blah, blah. You can't do it." And I'm like, "Dude, this is a freaking video game. Do you think they care about that? Do you think they care about that?" And it's like when I do Dragon Ball videos, and it's like, and I haven't done one in a while actually. It's like, what do you mean Ultra Instinct Omen is stronger than Ultra Instinct Omen, the black hair, is stronger than quote unquote Mastered? It's not called Mastered, just Ultra Instinct. It's because it's like, dude, it's a video game. They don't care about power scaling. This is a video game, right? So they're going to do whatever they think looks cool. And God damn it, Cerberus looks awesome. So just, I think Solo Leveling Rise is going to be really fun. It's got a lot of different things. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Check out the game when it comes out. And I'll see you all next time.